In the beginning, Dr. McCoy accidentally shoots some medicine in his stomach by accident, and it makes him go cuckoo. He said, "Assassins! I'll kill you before you kill me!" He sneaks over to the transporter room, and then he does the karate chop, and that's how he escapes. I think it's pretty weird because, Dr. McCoy, he's supposed to help people, not beat them up. Well, they go down to find him, and then they find this, it's like a little machine that makes you go back in time. McCoy, he's he's sneaking up, he's hiding behind a rock, and then they see him, and because he jumps out, and then they see him, and then they're trying to they're running after him. And then Spock neck pitches McCoy, and then he just falls down, and you know how it makes him go to sleep? Pass out. And then Dr. McCoy was not supposed to wake up at that specific time because it was 10 seconds later. He woke up, and then he ran into the time machine, and then he changed time. Well, and then Uhura, she told Captain Kirk that I'm fighting. And then the machine was talking to Captain Kirk and Spock, that they could go back in time and change what just happened and then erase all what happened. Spock, he looks at it, and then he says, "Now," and they jump both at the same time. They jump through the time machine. And then Spock, he looks at Captain Kirk. He's like, "Death, Captain?" Captain Kirk's like, we'll steal from the rich and get to the port later. Well, they get the clothes, and then, there's a police officer come. And then the police officer sees Spock's ears. It's really funny because Captain Kirk, he said, we can explain his ears. He is obviously Chinese, and his ears, when he was a child, got caught in a rice picker machine. And then the police officer started running after them, and that's when they met Edith Killer. And she's like, "Why are you here?" Well, I think she's a great person because, she feeds people that need help, and she helps Captain Kirk and Spock. Well, Spock was trying to trying to make a radio, but he couldn't because he did not have the parts he needed. McCoy finally shows up. He's screaming, "Murders, assassins! Murders, assassins!" What he looks like is he has red spots all over him. When Edith finds him, she puts him in the bed, and he's like, "Whoa." He's it kind of looks like Darth Vader when he took off his mask to talk to Luke. That's how bad he looks. Spock later explains to Captain Kirk that they need to stop McCoy, but Kirk doesn't want to because he's in love with the Edith Killer. But Spock says she must die. Later, Captain Kirk is walking with Edith, and she says McCoy's name. And Captain Kirk's like, "Leonard McCoy?" He goes to get Spock, but he tells her to stay right there. And then McCoy finds them, and he's so happy to see them that he hugs them. But that's when Edith starts walking across the street. Captain Kirk was trying to save her, but Spock said, "No, Jim." But she doesn't see that the truck's coming. And then the truck hits her, and she dies. And I felt really sad about that because she was such a good person, and she died. I felt for Kirk that he was really sad that Edith Killer died. You can tell because he closes his eyes and he can't look. And McCoy's mad at Captain Kirk, and then he says, "You deliberately stopped me, Jim! Did you know what you just did?" And then Spock says, "He knows, Doctor, he knows." And Kirk's so sad that he can't even talk, and then he just walks away. Then back on the planet, they jumped through that time machine and got back, and everything was back in order. And then Captain Kirk just says, "Let's get the heck out of here." And it just ends just like that. I'm Sarai, and you're watching Sarai Track. Death, Captain?